All right, welcome. Welcome. I guess my 2 cent series. Trump and the tariffs he's throwing around are a hot topic. Basically, the only thing people are talking about, better or worse, in the news cycle at the moment. Past couple of days, it's been this way. It's just, I, I guess I'll throw something out there. For the most part, let me go. Which one was it? Was it this one? No. Yeah, this. Over here in routers. Uh, yeah, people are fearing a people are feeling a $2,300 iPhone. Okay, I don't buy iPhones, but I mean it's gonna affect every phone regardless, because the vast majority of them are manufactured in China because cheap labor. Why is it cheap labor? Well, they can literally they don't have to really pay their people any real wages. The highest that they often make is like around 20,000 a year, and they have to live off of that. Farmers get less, but then we've got the fact that China, within their own country, manipulates the value of their yuan so heavily that they can either have it be much weaker or much stronger, depending on where they want it to be. But that's beside the point. The biggest thing that we're looking at is the fact that Trump is hitting countries that we're at a trade deficit with reciprocal tariffs. We go find it. China baseline prior had told us at a 67% tariff, and well, this is out of date. It's where is it? Kevin O'Leary saying we should go up to 400%. Was it the top of this one? No. All right. Well, Trump recently brought it up to 104% tariffs on China. Which one of these has a whole list of tariffs? Here we go. So, why is Vietnam getting hit? Were they on this list? They are. But, bigger reason Vietnam's getting hit, they are a place for China to reroute their shipping from. Uh, oh, shoot. Print failed. Uh, what it comes down to is there's two big reasons countries are getting hit. One, we've been in a trade deficit and we want to try and negotiate. And two, uh, it's mainly China rerouting things through them. What we're looking at is not necessarily the issue of, hey, we're going to see massively increased prices. I think very short term we'll see that from anything that isn't Chinese. For China, we're going to see massive increase in prices, specifically to deter corporations from having all their manufacturing in China. We're already seeing Apple move their manufacturing to India, and right here we've also got Trump throwing a 26% Indian tariff. Oh, I know, this is the updated. Nope, scratch that. Oh, so let us have it right here. Yeah, it's 125 now. But where was it? Was it this one? No. Is this the one talking about? No. Yeah. We've got the main goal of what Trump wanted to do with just bringing your people over to negotiate. He's got Japan negotiating. He's got Europe negotiating. Biggest things though are going to be Vietnam, Mexico, and China. Europe we can deal with quite easily. I mean, there has never been true free trade within the world. Everyone has a tariffs on American goods because they don't really need it. Well, let me rephrase this. They've often put tariffs on American goods to protect their own manufacturing base, their own production, their own farms. Yet America has had very little tariffs to none on everyone else. More so, it's been that way since the end of World War II, when we had to rebuild Europe. Uh, the biggest issue is quite simply China is stealing everything, let's be honest. They steal IP, they steal equipment, they steal manufacturing. Uh, but yeah, like prior to all the, we got Europe hitting us with a 39% prior to the tariffs charged by the U.S. U.S. hits by 20%, and a little more in certain areas. I think mainly it's metals. So we've got that, and then immediately they come over and say, "Hey, let's negotiate." Trump hits a 90-day pause. Japan, hey, let's negotiate. All right, 90-day pause. See right here, Vietnam has a 90% tariff on America. Cambodia, 97. China had some of these don't matter. Where is it? Where was the graph? Some like the Russia thing, I would honestly ignore. It's negligible. This might be just prior to it because we don't trade with Russia at all. People often also go and say, "Well, what about Russia? He's not tariffing them. Why would he tariff them? They're sanctioned to all. They're sanctioned to all high hell. They're tariffed to hell. Not tariffed. They're sanctioned to hell. No one's doing. No European or American market is trading in Russia. No one is trading with Russia at the moment, aside from China. The goal of a lot of this is eventually to isolate China and bring manufacturing back to Europe and America. A big thing of it is bring manufacturing back to America. Why? America doesn't produce shit. Sorry for my language. But it's true. Manufacturing in America has been dead for years. It's been dead since we brought China into the World Trade Organization and have allowed unrestricted trading with them. Because it's far cheaper to manufacture things in China, manufacture things in Mexico, in Taiwan, well, not Taiwan, in Vietnam. Taiwan has their own specific thing. Taiwan is computer chips. And that's kind of their only defense measure for keeping China at bay. Because if China invades Taiwan, they scuttle the factories, and now China has useless factories. Australia, I don't even know what exports you actually have. I'm gonna be honest. You were built as a penal colony, and you've, let's be honest, have behaved just like it in recent years. The UK is an interesting one because there's effectively an island smaller than Texas. Like, it is funny. I often hear people complain about, well, Europe has free healthcare. Europe has free. They're also like not even half the size of the continental U.S. combined. The continental United States combined is bigger. Is at least twice as big as the European Union. We're also more scattered, more diverse, and we are less culturally homogenous. Let's also not ignore the fact that Europe as a whole, including the UK, have become a lot more authoritarian as of late, crunching down on, well, any sort of expression or speech or anyone wanting to say something that's against the manufactured ideal or norm that they want. Let's just ignore some. Like, I think the EU should be tariffed or sanctioned a bit for that. A bit. Like, hey, we know that you're doing this because you're all weak, paper-skinned children. But how about you grow up a bit? don't want these videos. Um, China is the main. EU is not the main target. China is. Trump is trying to isolate China, and that's some. Well, some people focus on that. Most people are just looking at tariffs and how it will affect everything. And to a degree, yes. But again, at the same time, this is not a one step plan. This is a multi-step thing to try and bring manufacturing back to America, and it's a multi-year thing. It is going to be multiple years until we see manufacturing really brought back to America, because we got to build the factories back up. We got to we got to bring people back to the cities, to the big manufacturing hubs. We've got to bring people back, and we've been at a trade deficit. And the biggest issue is, quite simply, if we give the Chinese economy a massive shock, things will change. Because we import, within America, we import way, way more than China imports from us. America exists right now as a consumer economy, for better or for worse. China has a similar well, they got they have the potential to be one, but their people don't make enough money. Their quality of life is not where it needs to be. Their construction practices are subpar at best and outright fraudulent at worst. If you don't know about that, just look up tofu drag. Look up tofu drag construction. You'll see ghost cities. You'll see concrete pillars filled in with sand. You'll also see the fact that it's a cultural thing more so. Whenever they move into an apartment that they can only rent for 99 years at most, they can't own it. Whenever they move into an apartment, they try to get rid of the bad energy from the last tenant, and they just demolish everything. It's a cultural thing there. I don't know. But China exports China needs access to the American and European markets more than we need access to its markets. Why? I'd ask you just to look over at Temu and Shein and what was it, AliExpress. Bootleg. They're nothing but bootleg products. Yeah, there are a lot of bootleg products because there is no IP protection in China. You can't litigate anything in their courts. Here it is. Yeah, that's the biggest. He's not talking just about himself. He's all. How about the fact that anytime you want to have something operate within China, you have to have a deal with a Chinese company that's already got access to that stuff. Overwatch? What else? I think Overwatch and World of Warcraft, both by Activision Blizzard. In order to operate within China, they had to make a deal and have effectively they have to work with a specific corporation within China in order to have access to the market, and at any time the CCP can say no and revoke their access. This was a big thing several years ago. What was it? It was a Hearthstone tournament, I think, where the person said free Hong Kong, I think it was. And Activision Blizzard got hit hard by China, and the player got suspended or banned, I think. again, look at AliExpress, Shein, Temu, or even just the flood of crap that's on Amazon. You know how Amazon said, "All right, we're not going to deal with this. You have to be a registered business, and to do that, we're just going to rely on the U.S. the U.S. Government's trade organization. We're going to rely on the U.S. government to regulate all that." All that created was a flood of random names that got thrown in, like Joichi or some random combination of letters, because it's a fast and easy way to get a quote unquote company to sell things on Amazon. He is actually not entirely wrong. Yeah, well, it's sort of like half and half, because within China they stopped counting youth unemployment. They've outright stopped counting youth unemployment. But the biggest thing is within China, the CCP can only exist so long as they continue to uphold their end of the social contract. The people gave up their rights in exchange for, well, effectively gave up their rights in exchange for a higher standard of living. And so long as that standard of living keeps going up, they're okay with it. If they get hit with a shock to the system similar to COVID, all of a sudden China is in another world of protest and another world of riots, and that's where it stands. During COVID, we had people get locked in their homes in China with bars welding their doors shut. We have. If you think it was crazy in blue states during COVID in America, it's crazier in China. All right, that's where is it? All right, so that's the big bit gist of it. China's current government can only stay in power so long as the people stay employed and the people keep seeing their quality of life go up. Their quality of life has been struggling to go up lately, and if you think things are bad here, things are going to get a little worse. We're a little bit of medicine, because China's not the greatest. They're not a friend. They've been selling precursors to fentanyl to cartels, having them manufacture it and smuggle it into America. Don't care what border you want to say it's from. It's from both. It's from the north and south border, but it's from both of them. There's even cases where they have caught makeshift homemade submarines. Yes. Yeah. Narco submarine drug sub. Yeah. Yeah, like cartels are smuggling things in any way they can. They get funded and given the precursors by China. Effectively, this is you could probably argue it's their revenge for the opium addiction they were stuck on during what was it, 1800s, something like that, when Great Britain got them addicted to opium, and then the whole Boxer Rebellion. World history is a crazy thing. Y'all should study it more. But yeah, most of these where is it? Where was the whole? Yeah, most of these countries aren't the target. Flat 10% tariff. I Uh, and we've got, yeah. Let's see. All right, that's not it. Here's the retaliatory tariffs. A lot of this is quite simply, hey, we're gonna go get everyone, bring them to the negotiating table, and hit places like Vietnam, where China reroutes their manufacturing stuff to say, hey, it's not technically from China, but it's still from China. That's effectively what it is. Um, I'm not quite sure how to end this off. I guess till next time. Until I next start shouting into the void of the internet, I guess. Have a good day.